Good evening, everyone. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to decide if I got good customer service from Tracfone or if I got lousy customer service from Tracfone. Allow me to explain. In September 2015, I had a Tracfone. I bought a 1-year service plan for that Tracfone, and everything worked out fine. Then in December 2015, I took a trip to Taylorville, Illinois to videotape the Manners Park Festival of Lights. After I was finished videotaping, I went to a gas station in the center of town to get refreshments and to get some gasoline. Okay. While I was there, I attempted to use my Tracfone. Now, normally, this would work out fine. I'd get great reception in the middle of Taylorville. Okay? But this time I didn't. So I was thinking to myself, you know what? I've had this Tracfone for about 3 to 4 years now. It's probably time to change my Tracfone. So, shortly after the trip, I went to the store. I bought this Tracfone, the one you see in my hands right now. I bought this. And I called up Tracfone and I told them I want you to transfer all of my service, including my phone number, everything, from my old Tracfone to this Tracfone. And they did. And it worked out fine. As a matter of fact, when I was finished talking to them, it took about a half an hour for it to be done. But when I was finished talking to them, I actually used my landline. Now, I actually do have a landline. And I used my landline to call my Tracfone to make sure everything was working. And it was. Well, somewhere around the 3rd of January, they deactivated my service. I was not immediately aware of this because I don't use this Tracfone very often. It's usually for road trips and for emergencies, that kind of thing. After all, I do have a landline. Why would I use my Tracfone? Okay. So around the 15th of January, some of the pipes in my house froze. Now, the temperature went up all of a sudden, and I was very fortunate, and finally the pipes unfroze enough where the water was able to run again. Actually, technically speaking, the water was running. It was just we couldn't put anything down the drain. Okay? But while we were dealing with this ordeal, and it was my sister and I dealing with this, my sister was on the phone with somebody, and I wanted to get a hold of somebody else with my Tracfone. So I pick up my Tracfone to use it, and I find out my service has been disconnected. Well, since my sister was on our landline, I decided to get on the computer and access the Tracfone website and use their live chat. I was disconnected from their live chat not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. So when my sister was finished talking on the phone, I took the phone and got a hold of Tracfone directly. Now, do you realize what kind of an ordeal that is? I'll tell you what an ordeal it is. I had to go through at least 6 menus, if not more, just to get a hold of a live person. Now, I actually ended up talking to several people while I went through this ordeal, and none of them, not one of them, spoke fluent English. Not one. Okay. So the first person I got a hold of told me the following. First of all, they told me that my service had been deactivated. It had been deactivated after 30 days. Now remember, I had just bought that 1-year service plan back in September. Now they're telling me that after 30 days of owning this particular phone, my service was deactivated. And then they told me that they had given away my number to somebody else and they had issued me a new phone number when I had just 30 days before verified that my old phone number was now working with this Tracfone. Number 3. Then they told me that the SIM card in this phone had expired after 30 days and they were now going to have to send me a brand new SIM card. It took them 45 minutes to tell me all of this. Well, I asked them if they were going to compensate me for any of this, and they told me no. Well, at the time, I was in a hurry. I needed to go to work, so I hung up on them and went to work and came home that very night and called them back. Got a hold of somebody else. And this guy told me that he couldn't resolve my issue because he had to contact this other company to do it, and that other company was closed. Apparently they closed at about 5 or 6 o'clock at night. So he says, well, why don't you just call us back? And I told him, I said, why don't you call me back? Well, I had a busy week after that, and I don't know whether they ever called me back or not. They probably did, I just didn't realize it. But anyway, at the end of the week, I had a day off at long last. I called them back. And the first person couldn't help me, so they escalated me to yet another person. And that was after navigating about 6 or 7 menus. And this final person finally was able to successfully transfer my service and my old phone number to this phone, and told me that my SIM card had never expired, and afterwards everything was working fine. As a matter of fact, when all this was finally fixed, I used my landline once again to call my Tracfone to make sure everything was working, and you know what? Everything did. Everything worked just beautifully. However, not one of these people offered any compensation for all the hassle I went through. I mean, I talked to these people 45 minutes in length, not once, not twice, but 3 times to finally get this issue resolved. Now then, here is my question. If you think that I got good customer service, I want you to give this video a thumbs down. If you think I got lousy customer service, I want you to give this video a thumbs up. Okay. Well, I want to thank you very much for watching this particular presentation. I hope you have a great week. I'm looking forward to seeing the thumbs up and thumbs down on this video. Alright. I will tell you more in a future video, so I want you to stay tuned.